Lieutenant Ryan Carter leaned casually against the edge of the conference table, a half-smirk playing across his lips as the room buzzed with the low hum of voices and the shuffle of papers. The Joint Operations briefing was underway in the dimly lit room at Naval Base Coronado, where personnel from the Navy SEALs and other branches gathered to review plans for an upcoming multi-branch exercise. Carter, known among his SEAL teammates for his sharp wit and easy confidence, had been watching Commander Emily Dawson for the better part of the morning with a curious glint in his eye. Dawson sat across the table from him, her posture relaxed yet commanding in a way that seemed to draw the room's attention only when she chose to speak. She wore the standard Navy officer's uniform, crisp and impeccably tailored, but there was nothing ostentatious about her presence. To most, she was just another officer, albeit one with a calm, assured demeanor that suggested she was comfortable in her role, and perhaps beyond it. As the briefing wrapped up and the room began to quiet, Carter seized the moment. With a sideways glance at a few of his SEAL teammates, he leaned forward slightly and, voice laced with playful challenge, asked, "Commander Dawson, mind if I ask, what's your rank, exactly?" The question seemed almost rhetorical, but there was a deliberate edge to it. It wasn't common for SEALs to question an officer's rank outright, especially not in such an informal way during an official meeting. Carter's tone suggested a mix of jest and genuine curiosity, as if he suspected there was more to Dawson than met the eye, but he wanted to provoke a response. Dawson's lips curved into a subtle, knowing smile. She met Carter's gaze steadily, her voice calm and unwavering as she replied, "General." The word hung in the air, stark and unexpected. A hush fell over the room, the casual chatter dissipating instantly as if someone had flipped a switch. The SEALs exchanged quick, startled looks, their expressions shifting from amused skepticism to genuine surprise. Carter blinked, momentarily thrown off balance by her answer, while others around the table sat back, eyes narrowing in thought. For a moment, no one spoke. The atmosphere was thick with disbelief and the unspoken question, was she joking? Or was that really her rank? Carter's smirk faltered, replaced by a flicker of confusion. "General," he repeated, voice low but edged with disbelief. "You mean, like, a flag officer? That can't be right. You're Commander Dawson." Dawson's calm remained unshaken. "I am Brigadier General Emily Dawson. I'm here in a temporary assignment overseeing inter-branch coordination for this exercise." The words, simple but authoritative, settled heavily over the group. Some officers shifted uncomfortably in their seats, caught between respect and the awkwardness of having underestimated her. Carter's teammates exchanged glances, their earlier bravado dimming as they processed the implications. Carter, a man who rarely admitted being caught off guard, cleared his throat and nodded slowly. "Well, I'll be damned. Didn't see that coming." Commander Dawson's eyes glimmered with quiet satisfaction. She straightened slightly, the faintest trace of a smile crossing her lips as she regarded the room. "Rank doesn't always announce itself, Lieutenant. But it's always earned." The SEALs, accustomed to a culture where rank was often displayed with pride and bravado, found themselves confronted with something different, an officer whose authority was commanded not by flashing insignia or loud declaration but by steady presence and quiet confidence. As the briefing room began to stir once more, with murmurs of renewed respect threading through the group, Carter found himself reconsidering his initial assumptions. He glanced around at his fellow SEALs, noting the subtle shifts in their demeanor, fewer smirks, more thoughtful expressions. Outside the walls of the conference room, the naval base continued its steady rhythm, sailors and officers moving between buildings, the distant roar of jets taking off, and the steady pulse of a military community preparing for a complex operation. Within that larger world, the brief moment of revelation in the room felt like a pivot, a reminder that beneath the surface of every routine encounter lay depths yet to be discovered. Lieutenant Carter, caught between curiosity and newfound respect, allowed himself a quiet moment to reflect. The woman before him was no ordinary commander, and his challenge had opened a door to questions he hadn't expected to ask. As the group dispersed to their respective duties, Carter's gaze lingered on Commander Dawson for a moment longer. The smirk had vanished, replaced by a genuine, if reluctant, acknowledgement of her stature. He shook his head slightly, muttering under his breath, "Guess I've got a lot to learn." Commander Dawson gathered her briefing materials with deliberate care, her demeanor composed and unflappable. She knew the path ahead would be watched closely, not just for the success of the exercise, but for the subtle dynamics shifting beneath the surface. The surprise she had caused was only the beginning. The joint training exercise, designed to test the coordination and capability of different military branches, was still days away. But in that quiet room, during a simple exchange of words, something fundamental had changed. Lieutenant Carter and his SEAL team had been reminded that rank and experience sometimes hid behind the most unassuming facades, and that respect was the first step toward understanding. As the morning light filtered through the windows, casting long shadows across the briefing room, Commander Dawson stepped out into the corridor. The sound of footsteps echoed softly behind her, a mixture of curiosity and anticipation trailing in her wake. The day was just beginning, and with it, the unfolding of a story that would challenge assumptions and redefine leadership in ways few had anticipated. Commander Emily Dawson moved through the corridors of Naval Base Coronado with a measured pace, blending effortlessly into the steady hum of activity that defined the sprawling military installation. To the casual observer, she was simply another officer navigating the day's duties, her crisp uniform and professional bearing marking her as an experienced member of the Navy's leadership. Yet beneath that composed exterior was a woman accustomed to command, a leader whose presence held a gravity that few fully recognized, at least, not yet. Her routine was deliberate and efficient. Each morning began with a review of the day's operational schedules and communication logs, a quiet ritual that grounded her amidst the swirl of preparations for the upcoming joint training exercise. The exercise itself was a massive undertaking, involving multiple branches of the armed forces coordinated under a unified chain of command. It was precisely this complexity that had brought General Dawson here, assigned to oversee inter-branch cooperation and ensure seamless execution. As she moved toward the operations center, the usual bustle of sailors, Marines, and officers created a backdrop of focused energy. Conversations in clipped tones floated past her, a mix of technical jargon, strategic planning, and casual banter. Yet Emily's presence seemed to cause a subtle shift in the atmosphere. People instinctively straightened, pauses emerged in conversations as her path crossed theirs, though few dared approach or interrupt. There was a quiet respect in the way she was acknowledged, a recognition that she was not merely part of the staff but someone whose decisions carried weight. Despite this, she remained unassuming. Her hair was pulled back in a practical bun, her face free of unnecessary adornment, and her movements unhurried but purposeful. She preferred to lead through example rather than ostentation, a trait that often left her underestimated by those unfamiliar with her background. The truth was, Emily was a figure who thrived in the interstices, the spaces between ranks and responsibilities where true leadership was forged. Passing through the operations center, she briefly exchanged nods with the officers coordinating logistics and communications. Her voice when she spoke was calm and clear, offering precise directives without the need for raised volume or forceful commands. It was the kind of authority that invited cooperation rather than demanding it. Staff members who had worked with her noted this balance of firmness and approachability, a quality that made her both respected and approachable. Outside the technical rooms, the base itself was a microcosm of military life. Uniformed personnel moved with purpose across the parade grounds, vehicles rumbled by on service roads, and the distant drone of aircraft taking off echoed in the background. The base was a city unto itself, a place where duty and discipline shaped every moment, and where the anticipation of the upcoming exercise was palpable. Emily's schedule was tightly packed with briefings, coordination meetings, and strategic reviews. Yet she made a point to observe quietly whenever possible, absorbing the nuances of the different units involved. Her role required not only oversight but an intimate understanding of the cultures and capabilities unique to each branch. She was keenly aware that success hinged on fostering trust and communication across these divides. Throughout the day, she encountered members of the SEAL teams, Marines, Air Force liaisons, and Army planners. While most acknowledged her with respectful nods or brief salutations, few engaged beyond the surface. Emily did not press for attention. She understood that her presence was a quiet force that would reveal itself over time. To some, she was simply another officer to be noted and filed away. To others, a figure whose significance was yet to be unveiled. Back in her office, a modest space lined with maps, operational charts, and reference materials, Emily reviewed the latest updates on the exercise's progress. Her fingers traced the routes and objectives outlined on the map, her mind already calculating contingencies and potential challenges. The complexity of joint operations demanded a comprehensive approach, and she was meticulous in ensuring every detail was accounted for. Despite the intensity of the preparations, Emily allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. The journey that had brought her here was marked by decades of service, battles fought both on and off the field, and a steadfast commitment to duty. Her rank as Brigadier General was not merely a title but a testament to years of dedication, strategic acumen, and leadership under pressure. Yet she chose to remain grounded, to let her work speak louder than her rank. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the base, Emily prepared for a scheduled meeting with the senior officers from the SEAL teams. She anticipated questions, challenges, and perhaps some skepticism. After all, the SEALs were a close-knit group, proud of their autonomy and wary of outside command. But she was ready. Her approach was always to listen first, to understand the perspectives of those she led before asserting her own vision. The meeting room was a modest space, functional rather than grand, filled with a group of officers who eyed her with a mix of curiosity and guarded respect. Lieutenant Ryan Carter was among them, his earlier challenge about her rank still fresh in the minds of some. Yet as the briefing began, Emily's composure and knowledge quickly shifted the tone. She outlined the strategic objectives of the exercise with clarity and precision, addressing logistical complexities and potential operational risks. Her grasp of the tactical elements was evident, and her ability to coordinate across branches became increasingly apparent. The SEAL officers listened intently, their initial reservations gradually giving way to a growing acknowledgement of her expertise. Throughout the meeting, Emily maintained an open posture, encouraging questions and dialogue. She was not merely issuing orders but fostering collaboration, emphasizing the importance of unity in accomplishing the mission. Her leadership style was inclusive yet decisive, a balance that resonated with the seasoned operators before her. By the time the meeting adjourned, the atmosphere had shifted. What began as cautious skepticism had evolved into a tentative respect. Lieutenant Carter approached her briefly, his earlier challenge replaced by a nod of acknowledgement. "You handle things differently than I expected," he admitted. "I can see why you're here." Emily met his gaze evenly, her expression calm but resolute. "It's not about how things are expected to be done, Lieutenant. It's about how they need to be done, for the mission and for the teams involved." As the officers dispersed to their duties, Emily lingered for a moment, considering the path ahead. The upcoming exercise was more than a test of military capability, it was a crucible for leadership, trust, and cooperation. She understood that her role extended beyond strategy and logistics. It was about bridging gaps, shattering assumptions, and guiding a diverse group toward a common goal. Outside, the base continued its steady rhythm. Sailors polished equipment, Marines conducted drills, and the hum of aircraft engines underscored the day's momentum. Within this dynamic environment, Emily Dawson moved with quiet assurance, a general in all but appearance, preparing to lead by example and earn the trust that true command demands. Lieutenant Ryan Carter sat back in the dimly lit briefing room, the low murmur of conversation among his SEAL teammates underscoring a growing tension that had been simmering since Commander Emily Dawson's unexpected revelation. The word "general" had echoed in his mind repeatedly, refusing to settle into the comfortable skepticism he had initially clung to. The morning's encounters had planted seeds of doubt and curiosity that now demanded attention. Carter exchanged glances with Petty Officer Martinez, a seasoned operator whose experience rivaled his own. "You think she's really a brigadier general?" Martinez asked quietly, brow furrowed. The question hung in the air, heavy with uncertainty. "Doesn't add up," Carter replied, shaking his head. "She's got the bearing, sure, but it's not like I've ever met a general who blends into the background like she does. No grand entrance, no flag officer's swagger. It's almost like she's hiding something." The group leaned in, their voices a low hum of speculation and debate. Some argued that the rank had to be a cover story, perhaps a temporary assignment or a courtesy title for the sake of the joint exercise. Others suggested it was a test of their own assumptions, a deliberate move by higher command to see how they'd respond. "What if it's legit?" whispered Ensign Harris, still new to the team and visibly unsettled by the whole situation. "I mean, she handled that briefing with authority. More than just knowing the plan, she owned it." Carter shot a glance toward the door, where the faint echo of footsteps reminded them that this was no casual discussion. "Keep it down," he warned. "We're still in the middle of prep, and we don't want to give anyone the wrong impression." Yet beneath the caution was a growing unease. The SEALs, trained to rely on clear hierarchies and unambiguous leadership, found themselves challenged by Commander Dawson's inscrutable presence. Her rank, her demeanor, it all defied the straightforward expectations they were accustomed to. As the day progressed, Carter found his curiosity morphing into a quiet skepticism, tempered by respect. During the tactical planning sessions, he observed Dawson's contributions closely, noting her command of intricate operational details and her ability to coordinate complex logistics without hesitation. It was clear she wasn't just playing a role, her expertise ran deep. But Carter was not ready to concede fully. He confided in Martinez during a break, voice low but laced with frustration. "She's too calm, too controlled. I want to see how she handles pressure when things get messy." Martinez nodded thoughtfully. "Maybe that's the point. Maybe she's seen enough mess to keep her cool." Meanwhile, whispers circulated among the other officers. Some speculated about Dawson's past assignments, wondering if her low profile was by design, a deliberate choice to operate behind the scenes rather than in the spotlight. Others admired her professionalism but questioned whether she could connect with the SEALs on a personal level, given their reputation for a more direct, sometimes abrasive style. The tension culminated during a casual gathering in the base's common area, where Carter and his teammates exchanged candid opinions. The conversation was peppered with skepticism and admiration in equal measure. "She's got the skills," said Petty Officer Lee, folding his arms. "But does she understand what it means to be one of us? To lead from the trenches?" Carter shrugged. "That's what I want to find out." The SEALs debate was interrupted by the arrival of Captain Harris, a senior officer tasked with overseeing the joint exercises integration efforts. His presence commanded immediate attention, and his gaze swept across the group, settling briefly on Carter. "Lieutenant, I hear there's some curiosity about Commander Dawson's role," Harris began, voice steady but carrying an edge of authority. "I want to remind everyone that respect for the chain of command is paramount. Her rank and position have been thoroughly vetted. I expect professionalism, not speculation." The room fell silent, the reminder cutting through the chatter like a sharp blade. Carter nodded, understanding the gravity of the message, even as his mind wrestled with unanswered questions. Later, as the sun dipped low and shadows lengthened across the base, Carter found himself alone in the operations center, reviewing mission plans. The quiet hum of computers and distant radio chatter provided an unexpected backdrop for reflection. He thought back to the morning's exchange, the brief, enigmatic confirmation of Emily Dawson's rank. There was something about her that defied easy categorization, a blend of authority and subtlety that unsettled yet intrigued him. Determined to move beyond speculation, Carter resolved to observe her more closely, to test her leadership in the moments ahead. The upcoming training exercise would provide the perfect crucible. As the evening deepened, the base settled into a rhythm of preparation and anticipation. Personnel moved with purpose, and the weight of responsibility pressed on all involved. Lieutenant Carter, caught between doubt and respect, understood that the days ahead would challenge not only his assumptions but the very fabric of trust and leadership within the team. Commander Emily Dawson, meanwhile, was unaware of the silent scrutiny she now faced from the SEALs she was charged to lead and coordinate. Her composed exterior would soon meet the unpredictable reality of military operations and the intricate dance of proving one's worth beyond rank and title. In the quiet moments before the next day's briefing, the stage was set, not just for a complex joint exercise, but for the unfolding of a deeper story about authority, perception, and the forging of respect under fire. The morning sunlight filtered through the blinds of the conference room as Lieutenant Ryan Carter entered with a purposeful stride, his mind still swirling with questions from the previous day's discussions. The air inside was thick with anticipation. The joint operations team was gathered again for a critical planning session, and all eyes were on Commander Emily Dawson. The subtle undercurrent of skepticism that had followed her revelation lingered, but today, Carter intended to test the waters more directly. As the meeting commenced, Dawson took her place at the head of the table, her demeanor calm but commanding. She began by outlining the refined operational objectives for the upcoming exercise, her voice steady and clear, weaving complex tactical concepts with ease. The room fell into attentive silence, each member absorbing the depth of her knowledge. Carter observed her closely, waiting for any sign of hesitation or uncertainty. Instead, she answered questions with precise, authoritative responses, demonstrating a comprehensive understanding that left little room for doubt. When a junior officer posed a challenging query about inter-unit communication protocols under simulated electronic warfare conditions, Dawson replied without missing a beat, detailing contingency plans and fallback procedures that reflected extensive experience. During the last joint exercise, she explained, we encountered significant signal jamming that compromised our comms integrity. Our approach involved layered redundancies, including encrypted satellite links and line-of-sight relays. This ensured command continuity even when primary channels were disrupted. The SEAL officers exchanged glances. It was clear she was speaking from first-hand knowledge rather than theoretical preparation. Carter's skepticism began to erode, replaced by a grudging respect. Emboldened, Carter directed a question of his own. "Commander, given the complexity of coordinating multiple branches, how do you prioritize conflicting operational priorities when rapid decisions are required?" Dawson's gaze met his squarely. Effective command relies on clarity of mission intent and real-time situational awareness. When priorities conflict, I assess which objectives most directly impact overall mission success and delegate accordingly, ensuring subordinate leaders have the autonomy to adapt within set parameters. Her answer cut through the tension in the room, revealing a leadership philosophy grounded in trust and strategic calculation. Carter found himself nodding, the walls of doubt starting to crumble. Throughout the session, Dawson navigated logistical challenges, personnel concerns, and strategic contingencies with a deft hand. She coordinated inputs from Air Force liaisons, Army planners, and Marine officers, seamlessly integrating diverse perspectives into a coherent operational framework. At one point, she paused to clarify a complex supply chain issue, her fingers tracing routes on a detailed map projected onto the screen. "We must consider the impact of weather delays on aerial resupply," she noted, "and have ground transport contingencies ready to deploy within the first 24 hours. The meticulous attention to detail impressed even the most hardened operators. Carter caught the eye of Petty Officer Martinez, who gave a subtle nod of approval. As the meeting drew toward a close, Dawson shifted focus to the human element, the importance of morale and cohesion across the joint force. "We operate best when we understand and respect each other's capabilities," she emphasized. "Our strength lies not just in firepower but in the unity forged through shared purpose and mutual trust." The room, once charged with skepticism, now resonated with a cautious optimism. The SEALs, known for their demanding standards, were beginning to recognize the depth of Dawson's leadership. After the session, Carter approached Dawson privately, his tone measured but sincere. "Commander, I have to admit, I underestimated your grasp of our operational realities. Your approach is effective." Dawson offered a small, appreciative smile. "Thank you, Lieutenant. Leadership is not about assumptions, it's about results." Carter nodded, a newfound respect evident in his posture. "I look forward to seeing how you handle the field exercise. That's where theory meets reality." "I welcome the challenge," Dawson replied, her eyes steady and confident. "It's the true test of leadership and teamwork." As Carter left the room, he felt a shift within himself. The initial doubts about Dawson's rank and background had given way to an acknowledgement of her capabilities. The subtle tests he had set out to conduct had only reinforced the reality that she was a leader of exceptional skill and authority. Elsewhere on the base, word of Dawson's command proficiency began to spread quietly among the officers and enlisted personnel. Her ability to bridge the gaps between branches and navigate the complexities of joint operations was gaining recognition, gradually reshaping perceptions. Back in her office, Dawson reviewed the notes from the meeting, already anticipating the next steps. She knew that earning respect was an ongoing process, especially with a team as elite and independent as the SEALs. Her strategy was clear: lead with competence, listen with intent, and act with decisiveness. The day progressed with a series of simulations and drills designed to test communication protocols and command structures. Dawson's presence was integral, coordinating inputs and adjusting tactics in real time. Her calm under pressure and ability to synthesize information from multiple sources kept the exercises on track, even when unexpected variables were introduced. During a simulated communications blackout, she swiftly directed alternate channels and delegated authority to field commanders, ensuring continuity despite the chaos. Observers noted her steady voice over the radio, a beacon of calm amid simulated turmoil. Carter watched from the operations center, impressed by her seamless command. The doubts that had lingered were now replaced by respect tinged with curiosity about the woman who commanded with such quiet authority. As the evening settled over Naval Base Coronado, the teams gathered to debrief. The exercise had revealed areas for improvement, but also highlighted the strength of unified leadership. Dawson's role was central to this cohesion, her guidance bringing disparate elements into a coordinated whole. Lieutenant Carter found himself reflecting on the day's events. His initial challenges had evolved into a desire to learn from this commander who had so effortlessly commanded respect without fanfare. The The stage was set for the days ahead, with the joint exercise looming as the ultimate test. For now, the foundation had been laid, a foundation built on precision, knowledge, and a leadership style that transcended rank alone. The crisp morning air carried a sharp edge as the joint forces assembled on the training grounds outside Naval Base Coronado. Lieutenant Ryan Carter stood among his SEAL teammates, their faces taut with focus, nerves masked beneath layers of disciplined composure. The day's agenda promised a complex communications drill designed to simulate real-world tactical challenges, an exercise that would test not only equipment but leadership and adaptability under pressure. Commander Emily Dawson appeared at the perimeter of the field, her posture unyielding yet approachable as she surveyed the scene. Dressed in her standard Navy uniform, she blended seamlessly into the environment, yet there was an undeniable aura of authority that seemed to ripple through the assembled personnel. Carter watched her closely, the weight of her rank and responsibilities now carrying a tangible presence beyond the confines of the briefing room. As the exercise commenced, simulated electronic warfare conditions descended swiftly, jamming primary communication channels and plunging units into a controlled chaos. Radios sputtered with static, encrypted data streams faltered. The challenge was immediate and unrelenting. From the operations center, Dawson's voice crackled clearly over the backup channels, her tone steady and commanding. All units, switch to secondary comms. Activate line-of-sight relays and maintain formation. Confirm receipt. Her instructions cut through the confusion, providing a lifeline in the midst of disruption. Carter tapped his radio earpiece, relaying orders to his team as they adjusted their positions. The drill demanded rapid decision-making and seamless coordination, a test of both technology and human resolve. Amid the swirling dust and simulated gunfire, Carter observed how Dawson managed the flood of incoming reports, her fingers flying over the console as she rerouted transmissions and adjusted tactical priorities. Her grasp of the evolving situation was fluid, anticipating bottlenecks before they materialized and reallocating resources with precision. At one point, a field unit reported a simulated casualty and loss of comms. Dawson immediately authorized a local command handoff, empowering the team leader on site to execute contingency protocols without delay. The delegation was clear but measured, balancing control with trust. Carter caught himself nodding in approval. This was leadership refined by experience, a blend of strategic vision and practical responsiveness. As the drill progressed, Dawson's coordination extended beyond communication logistics. She seamlessly integrated air support simulations, orchestrated supply drops, and managed evacuation procedures, all while maintaining an overarching view of the operation's objectives. The SEALs, initially wary, began to recognize the depth of her expertise. Petty Officer Martinez leaned toward Carter during a brief lull. "She's not just talking the talk," he said quietly. "She's living it." The atmosphere shifted palpably as the team adapted to the evolving scenario. Dawson's calm command fostered a sense of cohesion, transforming fragmented units into a synchronized force capable of overcoming adversity. Later, as the exercise wound down, Carter approached Dawson near the operations center. "I have to admit, your command of the comms protocols caught me off guard," he said, his tone half-joking but sincere. "You handled that like you've been running these kinds of drills for years." Dawson met his gaze steadily. "Because I have. Communications are the nervous system of any operation. Disrupt them, and the whole mission falters. My job is to ensure that never happens." Carter nodded, the earlier skepticism now replaced by genuine respect. The layers of doubt that had clouded his judgment were peeling away, revealing a leader whose experience was as deep as it was broad. The day's events rippled through the ranks, conversations buzzing with newfound appreciation for Dawson's capabilities. Lieutenant Harris voiced what many thought aloud: "She's a general in every sense, not just a title." Back in the command center, Dawson reviewed the exercise data, noting successes and areas for improvement. Her mind already turned toward refining strategies, anticipating challenges the real operation might present. Despite the demands, she allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. The exercise had demonstrated more than technical proficiency, it had revealed the growing trust between her and the units she was guiding. As evening descended, Carter found himself reflecting on the journey from doubt to respect. The woman who had once seemed an enigma was now a tangible force, her leadership style a blend of authority and accessibility that inspired rather than intimidated. The SEAL team's initial arrogance had softened, replaced by a willingness to learn and adapt. Carter sensed that this shift was only the beginning, a prelude to the greater trials the upcoming exercise would bring. Commander Emily Dawson, meanwhile, remained focused on the horizon, aware that true tests lay ahead. But for now, the successful drill stood as a testament to the power of steady command and the strength found in unity across ranks and specialties. The base settled into a quiet rhythm as night fell, the promise of tomorrow's challenges lingering in the air. Within that stillness, a new chapter was unfolding, one defined by respect earned, skepticism overcome, and the unyielding pursuit of mission success. The afternoon sun cast long shadows over the training grounds as Lieutenant Ryan Carter found himself standing just outside the operations center, a knot of tension tightening in his chest. The past days had been filled with drills, briefings, and cautious respect, but beneath the surface, his curiosity and skepticism still simmered. Now, unable to contain it any longer, he resolved to confront Commander Emily Dawson directly. Inside the operations center, Dawson was reviewing the latest exercise data when Carter's footsteps echoed softly behind her. She turned, her expression composed yet curious as he approached. "Commander," he began, voice steady despite the flutter of nerves, "I need to ask you something." Dawson's gaze met his without hesitation. "Go ahead, Lieutenant." He took a breath, choosing his words carefully. "Your rank?" "Brigadier General." "I want to understand, how does that fit with your role here? Your presence has been commanding, but it feels almost understated. I mean, you operate with the precision of a seasoned leader, but you don't carry the usual flag officer profile." A flicker of a smile crossed Dawson's face, but her eyes remained serious. "I appreciate your candor. The Navy has many layers, Lieutenant. My rank reflects a career of diverse assignments, some of which required discretion over display." She paused, then continued with measured calm. "I am Brigadier General Emily Dawson, assigned here to oversee inter-branch coordination for this joint exercise. My role is to ensure operational cohesion without disrupting the unique cultures of each branch." Carter nodded slowly, absorbing the words but sensing there was more beneath the surface. "I guess what I'm asking is, how did you come to be here, in this position? And why the low profile? SEALs aren't used to being led by someone who doesn't fit their expectations." Dawson's expression grew thoughtful, her voice lowering. "I've spent much of my career in roles that demanded both leadership and accountability, often behind the scenes. Some assignments involved sensitive operations where visibility could compromise outcomes." She leaned slightly forward, the weight of her experience evident. "I've seen what happens when arrogance blinds judgment, when rank becomes a barrier rather than a bridge. Here, I lead not by bluster or bravado, but by competence and respect." Carter's skepticism wavered, replaced by a burgeoning understanding. "So, your approach is deliberate. You earn trust through action, not titles." "Exactly," she replied. "Leadership is a service, not a status. I'm here to ensure success for all branches involved, not to dominate." The moment hung between them, charged with unspoken acknowledgement. Carter, trained to question and challenge, found himself disarmed by the sincerity and depth of Dawson's words. Before he could respond, a senior staff officer entered, briefing Dawson on an urgent communication from Rear Admiral Thompson. The Admiral's arrival was imminent, and his presence would confirm the authenticity of Dawson's rank and role. Minutes later, Rear Admiral James Thompson strode into the operations center, commanding attention with an ease born of authority. His eyes scanned the room before settling on Dawson. "Brigadier General Dawson," he greeted, nodding respectfully. "Thank you for your work in coordinating this complex exercise." Dawson acknowledged him with a formal salute, which he returned. "Admiral Thompson, it's an honor." Turning to Carter and the assembled officers, Thompson spoke with firm clarity. "General Dawson's rank and position have been thoroughly vetted. Her leadership is critical to the success of this operation. I expect full cooperation and professionalism from all personnel." Carter felt a flush of embarrassment mixed with relief. The Admiral's confirmation settled lingering doubts, reaffirming the chain of command. As Thompson exited to attend to other matters, Carter turned back to Dawson. "I underestimated you," he admitted quietly. "Not just your rank, but your leadership. I'm sorry for the doubt." Dawson's smile was warm but measured. "Acknowledging doubt is the first step to understanding, Lieutenant. I hope we can move forward with mutual respect." Carter nodded, a newfound determination settling in. "We will." I want to learn from your experience. She inclined her head, the unspoken promise of mentorship passing between them. The afternoon faded into evening as the base prepared for the next phase of the exercise. The revelation of Dawson's true rank and her past assignments shifted the dynamics within the team. What had begun as skepticism transformed into cautious acceptance, laying the groundwork for deeper collaboration. Later, as Carter reviewed operational plans, he reflected on the conversation. The woman who had so quietly commanded respect was more than a rank or title. She was a leader shaped by challenges that few could fathom, someone who chose humility over spectacle. Commander Emily Dawson, meanwhile, continued her work with the steady resolve of a seasoned officer. The confirmation of her identity was not an end but a beginning, a moment that would test the bonds of trust and the strength of leadership in the days to come. In the corridors of Naval Base Coronado, the story of a general who led without fanfare was unfolding, challenging assumptions and redefining what it meant to command. Rear Admiral James Thompson's boots echoed steadily down the polished hallways of Naval Base Coronado as he made his way toward the operations center. His presence was immediately felt by the officers and enlisted personnel who recognized the weight of his rank and the authority he carried. The air seemed to tighten with anticipation. The Admiral's arrival was more than a routine visit, it was a pivotal moment in the unfolding joint exercise. Inside the operations center, Commander Emily Dawson stood reviewing tactical charts when the heavy door swung open. The room's atmosphere shifted palpably as Thompson entered, his gaze sharp yet measured as he surveyed the assembled staff. His eyes settled on Dawson, a nod of acknowledgement passing between two seasoned professionals who understood the gravity of their mission. General Dawson, Thompson began, his voice commanding but respectful. I've been briefed on your role in overseeing inter-branch coordination. Your leadership has been instrumental in navigating the complexities of this exercise. Dawson responded with a steady salute, her posture reflecting both deference and confidence. Thank you, Admiral. It's an honor to serve. Turning his attention to the gathered officers, Thompson's tone grew firm. I am here to confirm Brigadier General Emily Dawson's rank and her critical responsibilities in this operation. Her position has been thoroughly vetted, and she commands my full trust and support. The room absorbed the statement in silence, the weight of the Admiral's words settling over the personnel like a mantle of authority. Lieutenant Ryan Carter exchanged a brief glance with his fellow SEALs, the earlier doubts about Dawson's status now replaced by a sober recognition of the chain of command. Thompson continued, his gaze sweeping the room. I expect every member of this team to extend the utmost professionalism and respect to General Dawson. Our success depends on unity and discipline, regardless of rank or branch. The senior officers nodded in unison, the Admiral's directive clear and unambiguous. Carter felt a stirring of humility, the previous undercurrents of skepticism giving way to a renewed commitment to mission and camaraderie. After addressing the team, Thompson turned back to Dawson. Your discretion in maintaining a low profile has served operational security well. However, the time has come for your visibility to increase as we move closer to the exercise's commencement. Dawson inclined her head. Understood, Admiral. I will adapt accordingly. As the Admiral prepared to depart, Carter seized a moment. Admiral Thompson, if I may, he began, his voice steady though edged with respect. General Dawson has demonstrated exceptional leadership. I believe her approach is exactly what this operation needs. Thompson's eyes met Carter's, a hint of approval flickering in his gaze. I'm glad to hear that, Lieutenant. It's important that respect for leadership is earned and acknowledged. I trust you will continue to support General Dawson fully. With a final nod, the Admiral exited the operations center, leaving behind an energized but focused group. The confirmation of Dawson's rank and role had shifted the atmosphere decisively, reinforcing the importance of cohesion and respect within the joint force. In the days that followed, Dawson's presence grew more prominent. She took on a visible leadership role in planning sessions, briefings, and coordination meetings, her strategic vision guiding the complex orchestration of the exercise. Officers who had once questioned her methods now sought her counsel, appreciating the clarity and decisiveness she brought to the table. Carter observed the transformation with a mixture of admiration and introspection. The lessons learned extended beyond tactics and logistics, they touched on the very nature of leadership, trust, and the importance of setting aside assumptions in favor of collaboration. One afternoon, as the teams prepared for a critical phase of the exercise, Carter approached Dawson with a renewed sense of purpose. General, I want to thank you for your guidance. Your leadership has made a real difference." Dawson regarded him with a genuine smile. "Thank you, Lieutenant. Leadership is a shared responsibility. Your willingness to learn and adapt is as vital as any command." Their exchange symbolized the evolving dynamic within the force, a recognition that true strength arises from unity, respect, and mutual support. As the joint exercise progressed, the collaboration between branches deepened, and the teams performed with increasing synchronization. The successful integration of efforts owed much to the leadership exemplified by Dawson and endorsed by Admiral Thompson. In the quiet moments between operations, Carter reflected on the journey from skepticism to acceptance. The experience had reshaped his understanding of command and underscored the value of humility and open-mindedness. Commander Emily Dawson, now fully embraced as a visible leader, continued to guide the operation with unwavering focus. Her rise from an unassuming presence to a central figure in the exercise illustrated the power of competence, discretion, and earned respect. The base hummed with activity and anticipation as the joint forces prepared for the culmination of their efforts. In that charged environment, the lessons of leadership and unity forged through experience promised to carry them forward into the challenges that lay ahead. The early morning light spilled into the Joint Operations Command tent, casting long shadows across maps, communication devices, and the focused faces of military personnel from multiple branches. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of anticipation and disciplined readiness as Commander Emily Dawson stepped forward to address the assembled officers and enlisted men. Today, her role was no longer behind the scenes. She was the visible leader, the linchpin holding the diverse forces together as the joint exercise neared its critical phase. Lieutenant Ryan Carter stood among the SEALs, his posture attentive, eyes fixed on Dawson as she spoke with a clarity and authority that commanded respect. Gone were the murmurs of skepticism, in their place was a palpable sense of trust and unity. Carter's earlier doubts had transformed into a commitment to learn and follow, recognizing that leadership was not merely about rank but about vision and example. Dawson's voice cut through the tense hum, precise and steady. "This exercise is more than a test of tactics and technology. It is a test of our ability to operate as one force, across branches, specialties, and backgrounds. Our success depends on mutual respect, clear communication, and unwavering commitment to the mission." She paused, scanning the faces before her. "I expect each of you to bring your best, to support your teammates, and to adapt as challenges arise. We are stronger together than apart." The room responded with a respectful silence, the weight of her words sinking in. Carter exchanged a glance with Petty Officer Martinez, whose nod mirrored his own resolve. As the exercise commenced, Dawson's leadership was on full display. She coordinated air support, ground maneuvers, and logistical operations with seamless precision, her decisions reflecting a deep understanding of both strategy and the human element. When unexpected complications arose, a simulated ambush, a communications blackout, she remained composed, issuing clear directives that kept the operation on course. Carter found himself relying on her guidance more than he had anticipated. Her ability to integrate diverse units into a cohesive force was evident in every call, every adjustment. The SEALs, known for their fierce independence, adapted to her style, recognizing that her leadership enhanced rather than impeded their effectiveness. During a critical phase, when communication lines faltered, Dawson authorized decentralized command, empowering field leaders to make split-second decisions within the broader strategy. This balance of control and trust resonated with the operators, fostering confidence and initiative. As the day progressed, the joint force achieved milestones that previously had seemed ambitious. The exercise tested not only tactics but the resilience of cooperation under pressure. The success was a testament to the leadership that had nurtured collaboration and respect. Following the conclusion of the day's operations, a debriefing convened in the command tent. Dawson facilitated the session with openness, encouraging feedback and acknowledging both strengths and areas for improvement. Her approach fostered a culture of continuous learning, breaking down barriers between ranks and branches. Carter spoke candidly during the debrief, praising the clarity and decisiveness of Dawson's command. "Your leadership brought us together in a way that made all the difference. We learned to trust not just the plan, but each other." Dawson smiled, her expression reflecting both humility and pride. "Trust is earned through action and respect. I am grateful for your commitment and willingness to adapt." Over the following days, the cohesion among the joint forces deepened. Training sessions led by Dawson emphasized not only tactical skills but also communication and cultural understanding across branches. The SEAL teams, Marines, Air Force, and Army personnel found common ground through shared challenges and mutual respect. Lieutenant Carter, once a skeptic, became an advocate for Dawson's leadership, seeking opportunities to learn from her experience and guidance. His team's performance improved noticeably, reflecting the positive influence of a leader who balanced authority with approachability. In private moments, Dawson reviewed the progress with satisfaction. The initial hurdles of mistrust and uncertainty had given way to a unified force ready to face complex challenges. Her strategy of leading by example and fostering collaboration was yielding tangible results. As the joint exercise approached its climax, the atmosphere at Naval Base Coronado was one of focused determination and quiet confidence. The lessons learned under Dawson's leadership not only prepared the forces for operational success but also laid the foundation for lasting inter-branch cooperation. Lieutenant Ryan Carter reflected on the transformation within himself and his team. The journey from doubt to respect had been challenging but ultimately rewarding. He recognized that true leadership transcended rank and was measured by the ability to inspire, adapt, and unite. Commander Emily Dawson, embracing her role as a visible leader, continued to guide the joint forces with unwavering resolve. Her presence symbolized the strength found in humility, competence, and the shared commitment to mission and comrades. As the sun set over the base, the personnel prepared for the final phases of the exercise, carrying with them the invaluable lessons of respect, trust, and unity forged under Dawson's steady command. The sun hung low over Naval Base Coronado, casting a golden hue across the sprawling grounds as the final phase of the joint exercise unfolded. The atmosphere was electric, an amalgamation of anticipation, focus, and quiet pride. Commander Emily Dawson stood at the center of the operations hub, her presence commanding yet approachable, a steadying force amid the controlled chaos of military activity. Lieutenant Ryan Carter moved among his SEAL teammates, exchanging brief nods and quick updates as the operation progressed. The earlier skepticism that had shadowed their interactions with Dawson was now replaced by a palpable respect, born from days of shared challenges and demonstrated leadership. The SEALs were no strangers to high-stakes environments, and they recognized when a leader's guidance made the difference between success and failure. Throughout the exercise, Dawson's strategic direction had proven crucial. Her ability to synthesize intelligence from multiple sources, coordinate diverse units, and anticipate contingencies had kept the operation on course even as unexpected variables emerged. When a simulated friendly fire incident threatened to fracture the unit's cohesion, her swift intervention and clear communication restored trust and focus. Carter recalled the moment vividly, a tense radio exchange, Dawson's calm voice cutting through the confusion, reminding all involved of their shared mission and the importance of vigilance and clarity. It was a testament to her leadership that potential disaster transformed into a learning opportunity without lasting damage. As the exercise reached its climax, the joint forces executed a complex coordinated maneuver that brought together air support, ground assault teams, and logistical elements in a seamless display of military precision. The success was not merely tactical but symbolic, a demonstration of unity forged through respect and effective command. After the operation concluded, a formal recognition ceremony was held in the base's parade ground. Uniformed personnel from all branches gathered, the air filled with the crisp sound of salutes and the rustle of uniforms. Senior officers and enlisted members alike turned their attention to the podium where Captain Harris stood ready to address the assembly. Today, we witnessed the culmination of weeks of preparation, coordination, and dedication, Harris began, his voice carrying across the crowd. The success of this joint exercise reflects not only the skill of our personnel but the strength of our leadership. He gestured toward Commander Dawson, who stood with a composed yet proud demeanor. Brigadier General Emily Dawson's strategic vision and unwavering commitment were instrumental in guiding our forces through complex challenges. Her leadership exemplifies the highest standards of our service. As applause rippled through the ranks, Carter felt a surge of pride and respect. The woman who had once been a subject of doubt had become a symbol of excellence and unity. Dawson stepped forward to address the assembly, her voice steady and resonant. Thank you for your dedication and professionalism throughout this exercise. Our success is a testament to the power of cooperation and mutual respect across all branches. She paused, eyes meeting those of the assembled personnel. I encourage each of you to carry these lessons forward, to lead with humility, to listen with intent, and to remember that true strength lies in unity. The crowd responded with a respectful silence before breaking into renewed applause, the energy of the moment palpable. After the ceremony, Carter approached Dawson alongside his teammates. "General, on behalf of my team, thank you," he said earnestly. "You showed us what leadership really means." Dawson smiled, a genuine warmth in her eyes. "Thank you, Lieutenant. It's been an honor to serve alongside such dedicated professionals." In the days that followed, Dawson took on a mentorship role, leading training sessions that emphasized not only tactical proficiency but also the values of respect, accountability, and collaboration. Her influence fostered a culture that transcended rank and branch, encouraging growth and mutual understanding. Carter and his SEAL teammates embraced these opportunities, recognizing that their development extended beyond physical prowess to encompass the qualities that define true leadership. The session sparked candid conversations, challenges to old assumptions, and a renewed commitment to excellence. As the joint forces prepared to disband and return to their respective commands, the bonds forged under Dawson's guidance remained strong. The exercise had tested their skills and their ability to work as a cohesive unit, and the lessons learned promised to shape future operations. Lieutenant Ryan Carter reflected on the journey from doubt to admiration, recognizing that the experience had reshaped not only his view of Dawson but also his own approach to leadership and teamwork. Commander Emily Dawson, now not only a respected leader but a mentor and symbol of unity, continued to embody the principles she had championed: humility, competence, and the unyielding pursuit of mission success. As the sun set over Naval Base Coronado, the legacy of the joint exercise stood as a testament to the transformative power of leadership grounded in respect and collaboration, a beacon for those who would follow in their footsteps. The assembly hall at Naval Base Coronado buzzed with quiet anticipation as personnel from every branch gathered for the final address following the successful joint exercise. Rows of uniforms, from Navy blues to Army greens and Air Force dress, formed a disciplined mosaic of military precision, yet the atmosphere carried an undercurrent of camaraderie that transcended service lines. Lieutenant Ryan Carter stood amid his SEAL teammates, his posture attentive, eyes fixed on the front where Captain Harris prepared to speak. Captain Harris stepped forward, his voice resonant and clear. "Today marks the culmination of a challenging and complex exercise, one that tested not only our tactical skills but the strength of our unity." His gaze swept the crowd before resting briefly on Commander Emily Dawson. "It is fitting that we recognize the leadership that guided us through this endeavor." The room hushed further as Harris continued. "Brigadier General Emily Dawson has served with distinction, her strategic acumen and unwavering commitment instrumental to our success. Many of you have witnessed firsthand the quiet strength and professionalism she brought to this operation." At his signal, the doors at the far end of the hall opened, and General Dawson entered, her uniform immaculate, bearing the insignia of her rank with understated dignity. The crowd's reaction was a mix of awe and respect, a testament to the journey she had navigated from obscurity to recognition. Captain Harris gestured toward her. "General Dawson has requested to share a few words." Dawson approached the podium with measured grace, her eyes scanning the assembly with a calm intensity. "Thank you, Captain Harris, and thank you all for your dedication and professionalism throughout this exercise." Her voice was steady, carrying the weight of experience and sincerity. This exercise was more than a test of tactics and coordination, it was a lesson in respect, trust, and the power of unity. She paused, allowing her words to resonate. "I know that for some, my presence here was unexpected. I understand the skepticism that can arise when assumptions are challenged. But leadership is not defined by appearances or assumptions, it is earned through actions, through integrity, and through a commitment to those we serve alongside." The assembly listened intently as Dawson continued. "I have been privileged to serve with all of you, to witness your skill, your courage, and your dedication. My hope is that this exercise strengthens not only our operational capabilities but also our bonds as a unified force." Her gaze settled on Lieutenant Carter and his SEAL team, a subtle acknowledgement of their journey from doubt to respect. "Let this be a reminder that true service transcends rank and position. It is a shared commitment to excellence, to integrity, and to each other." As she stepped back, the hall erupted in applause, the sound echoing with genuine appreciation. Carter felt a swell of emotion, a mix of pride, humility, and renewed purpose. The woman who had challenged their preconceptions now stood as a beacon of leadership and mentorship. In the days following the assembly, Dawson took on a new role within the base's training programs, focusing on mentorship and security consultation. Her experience and insight became invaluable resources for junior personnel navigating the complexities of military service. Lieutenant Carter and his teammates eagerly embraced the opportunity to learn from her, their earlier challenges transforming into a foundation for growth and development. the dynamic within the team shifted, fostering a culture of respect, accountability, and continuous improvement. Through her guidance, Dawson nurtured a new generation of leaders, individuals who understood that true strength lies not in rank alone, but in character, competence, and the willingness to serve others. As the sun set over Naval Base Coronado, the story of Brigadier General Emily Dawson stood as a testament to the transformative power of respect, understanding, and personal growth within the military community. From anonymity to recognition, from skepticism to mentorship, her journey illuminated the path forward, a path defined by leadership that inspires, unites, and elevates all who follow.